Let's go. Here's your look at the brand new Jakks Pacific Super Mario Bros. The movie, Mario. Collect your favorite characters in the Super Mario Bros. Movie 5-inch figure series. The Mario figure is inspired by the movie and comes with premium details including realistic acrylic eyes and 16 points of articulation. Mario comes with a removable plunger accessory, all showcased in a window box. Mamma mia. Before we get a closer look at the Super Mario Bros. Movie Mario, let's grab the old tape measure as we always do to figure out how tall the figure stands. If you include his cap, which is non-removable, Mario stands exactly 5 inches in height, or the figure's 12 centimeters tall. Old Mario here manages to get himself one lone accessory, and that's an included plunger. The plunger, I expected it to be much harder of a plastic than what it actually is. When you first take it out of its plastic prison, boy, do you realize right away how rubbery this thing is. It does fit into only one of Mario's hands, being that the other hand on this side is actually more of a relaxed hand. I suppose you could kind of wedge it in there between the thumb and the fingers, and he sort of can hold it somewhat. But really the better hand to hold it is to be putting it in this hand right here. I did pick up Mario and I did pick up Luigi at the same time over at Walmart, in which the price point of these figures were kind of setting me back a little bit. $24.97 I think the price was for Mario and Luigi. They also did have a Peach, which I'm probably planning to go back and pick up at a later date. But I think that the price point of these figures should be a little bit lower than what they are. $14, $15 I think is where that sweet spot would be, but I certainly know that figure price points, everything across the board, whether it be Mario or otherwise, all seem to be skyrocketing in prices. And unfortunately, Mario is not the exception to the rule. So there he is. He actually is holding the plunger. And again, for the price point, I kind of wish that this guy could have come included with a little bit more than just a rubbery plunger, but at least it is something. His brother, though, comes included with a flashlight, which we will be looking at in an upcoming review. Getting a closer look at Mario's face now, you can certainly see that they have stylized his face just a little bit for the movie, made his face a little bit more narrow. And one thing that's also very much featured here on the Mario figure is the fact that the figure does have these clear acrylic eyes, which I kind of find is a little jarring. When you look at further enough away, it actually kind of looks like he's got a little bit of pink eye. When you look at really, really close, seeing the clearness, the lens of the clear plastic in front of it sort of does throw you for a loop, because you're almost expecting you'd be able to move something on the back of Mario's face, and those eyes would moving around. Whenever I see something like this on a figure, I always tend to think that the eyes are going to then do something, and they don't do anything. They're just supposed to make them a little bit more lifelike, and I guess they certainly do that. The light does bounce nicely off that clear plastic lens that they did put on the front of the eyes. It's just a little jarring, because I'm always so used to more seeing Mario with painted eyes, not actually clear eyes. It obviously is white past that, so if you actually were to look past the lens, they actually did put an actual, I guess, a white pupil, a white eyeball, I should say, and then there's the blue pupil, but again, you get the idea. The hat is not removable, although it does seem like they did use a slightly softer plastic, but it is not something that you can take off of Mario's face. Like how they have updated his face. He's got a very nice looking mustache, I must say. I'm a little jealous of Mario's mustache. I wish I could pull off quite a superior looking mustache like Mario. The hair is on the back, painted differently from the mustache here on the front. So the mustache is actually more of a darker black. The hair, though, on the back is a little bit more closer to being medium brown. But like they have updated Mario's face, they have updated also his clothing and his hat as well. So there's stitch lines, for example, places where the fabric would naturally pull, for example, if he's actually wearing it on his hat. And he does have, again, that familiar Mario logo stitched there on the front of his cap. The rest of the coloring for the costume is very much classic looking Mario. He's got the more red sleeves here, and then he's wearing a pair of blue overalls that you can see has some nice additional gold accents added there to the top where the snaps do fasten over and keep the pants on Mario. Then he does have a little pocket here also on the front. Nice detailing also. The fact that they would actually take the time to paint the little dots of gold there on the sides of his legs are also nice touches. And similar to how they upgraded the detailing to his hat, they've also done something very similar here also to his legs. You can see they've added some nice stitching in there also as well. Boots are also something, or shoes are also something, get quite a lot of additional detailing added. Not only painting the soles, but also detailing them rather nicely. And he does also have matching colored laces. I don't know if you can actually see it just underneath his boots. The figure is also fairly posable, but that goes without saying. Generally, the Jakks Pacific stuff that we've gotten with Mario in the past have all tend to be really superposable figures. And again, the ones that we're getting here for the Mario movie as well are also very superposable. So let's go run through that right now. Mario's head, for all intents and purposes, would be a ball joint. You can only move it down just only by a little bit. You can move it up, again, only just by a little bit. It almost doesn't even look like I'm actually moving it. But I assure you, I'm trying to. That's as much as that you can actually get out of his head. You can also rock it back and forth, but not really by much. More the rotation, more the benefit of that ball joint is the fact you can rotate the head all the way around. As for the arms, Mario's arms do come out. They're on hinge joints, after all. I would be safe to say that you can get him in a like jumping jack pose. There's no real stopping point with Mario's arms. You can go beyond the point of that regular 90-degree stopping point. You can actually give him quite a high reach also as well if somebody's sticking him up. You can also take those arms, if I just get the hinge joint right way, you can rotate those arms all the way around. Just be careful, though, when you see the hinge joint, you want to make sure that that's the part that's in the armpit. You can see, well, I guess it's the same on both the sides, but I noticed when you have it turned a certain way, there's obviously resistance when you're trying to move the arm. So you just want to make sure you kind of rectify that right around. As for the forearm, let me just bring his arms around. As for his forearm, you can actually see there's a hinge joint on the inside of the elbow that allows Mario's elbow to bend, of course, back and forth. You can also rotate the forearm, and you can also rotate the hands. Those are independently attached. His upper body is actually on a ball joint, which actually I was surprised really to see. I expected, if anything, this to just be all one molded piece. And then again, the additional articulation only afforded to the tops of the legs, but actually was surprised to see that Mario does have an upper torso ball joint. Though again, much like the head, you really can't move too much of it. You can move it back and forth this way, up, down, and again, you can also rock it back and forth. The legs, looking on the inside here, it looks like Mario is attaching his legs by ball joints. So that means you can bring the legs easily forward, easily also as well back. Up the way of the thigh, there's also a cut, so you can swivel and rotate that all the way around. Mario does have a single hinge there in his knee. It doesn't allow him necessarily some additional articulation down below here, so to get any bit of movement from his leg, you're rotating up here, you're not rotating down here. Then the feet move back and forth this way. They move also up and down. I guess you could technically rotate them all the way around, but there is very much, again, a resistance happening there. I did notice getting Mario out of the packaging that his feet do feel loose. More this one than this one right here. I don't think it's going to cause any stability issues when it gets this guy to stand, but a nice looking figure overall. The thing again about it, and that's going to be consistent across the board, so I'm not even just going to necessarily blame it on the Mario line, but everything action figure wise have skyrocketed. I think this guy, if this Mario guy from the Super Mario Brothers movie was released, say, I'm talking like 2-3 years ago, he probably would have sat closer, I think, around $14 to $15. I think on average they would have been more like $14.97. The price of, unfortunately, this Mario and his brother Luigi and the Peach, the only three figures I saw at Walmart at the time, these guys are actually sitting closer to $24.97, $25, which again I think is a little high for considering all the things that the figure comes included with, only just really being a plunger and a rubbery plunger to that. I feel like for that price, I think Jakks Pacific probably could have thrown in some other accessories also as well. Even if it was just a coin, even if it was just a mystery block, something. I think this guy probably should have been packaged with more than just the plunger alone. My plan was to go in and pick up a couple of Super Mario Brothers movie figures in lieu of the release of the Super Mario Brothers movie to theaters. And though, while unfortunately other people had advertised big displayers in their local Walmarts that had anything and everything you could ever find for the Mario movie, mine unfortunately did not, and I checked 2 local Walmarts in order to prove the fact that while they did have a displayer out for Mario movie, all the stuff that was on that displayer was simply just stuffies. And that's fine if you want to get stuffed Mario, you want to get stuffed Yoshi, but I was really looking for the figures, and it wasn't until, in fact, I went to the very end of the aisle where normally the Jakks Pacific stuff would be relegated to, and sure enough, looking a little closer, I saw only one row of movie figures, these specific movie figures, and they only had two Super Marios, 2 Marios I should say, 1 Luigi, and 1 Peach. Now looking back on it, I probably should have gone back and picked up the Peach as well, because the chances of maybe her selling out probably pretty high, considering the price point of still what these things are selling for. $24.97, and again, I want to mention again, I know that's just the price on everything. Everything is going up just with the price of inflation and, of course, the price of what figures are going for nowadays. Mario is not going to be the exception to that, but still for $24.97, I'd like to hope that while we are getting a really detailed superposable Mario from the folks over at Jakks Pacific, I would have liked for the $24.97, $25 that they could have thrown in something other than just a plunger. Plunger is fine for Mario when he's not working in the Mushroom Kingdom, but it would have been nice if they could have thrown something in there as well, also from the Mario movie. Maybe not a firepower flower, but at the very least, maybe they could have thrown in there like a magic mushroom or a coin, even just a coin, so that Mario could say at least that he had 2 things to come included with him, not just the plunger. I'm probably going to still go back, I think, right after this review, to go back and see if I can maybe find that Princess Peach, so at least I can have a look at the Mario, the Luigi, and the Peach, and maybe try to track down the other ones, again, leading up to the release of the Super Mario Brothers movie. How excited are you guys for the new Super Mario Brothers movie? Let me know down below in the comment section. I'm planning to take my daughter to it. Both of us have talked about how excited we are to go see the movie. Probably not going to go right away, because I would imagine it'd be pretty crazy and insane at the theaters. We're going to kind of wait it out. Maybe go like the second or third week and see the movie from there. Apparently, there's already talks to have several Mario movies in the works, so that it might not just be the first movie that we're going to get Chris Pratt playing Mario. I know some of you like the idea of Chris Pratt playing Mario, some of you do not. Let me know down below in the comments section what you guys think of the Super Mario Brothers movie, and are you going to be checking out in the theaters when the movie eventually gets released? Also, if you guys enjoyed this video, I want to hit it with a like. If you guys are loving the content you guys are seeing and certainly on board to see more, because as already mentioned, we are going to be looking at also the Super Mario Brothers movie Luigi. Of course, I'm going to be picking up Mario. I'm going to have to be picking up Luigi. I think collectively between the two, both the figures set me back way past $60. Unbelievable. Either way, though, definitely there's going to be a lot more coming your way. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and that you're also turning on bell notification. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.